Hey guys, this is a continuation of the fractions unit. We're going to start off with two important vocabulary words and learn how to find them. So the first vocabulary word we have is greatest common factor, or GCF. The greatest common factor is the greatest number that is a factor of two or more numbers. Not very helpful on the vocabulary, but I will get to an example to show you how to do it. And then our LCM, or least common multiple, is the least of the common multiples. Okay, great vocab, but we're going to give you a couple examples of how to find these. Greatest common factor is going to be very important whenever we're starting to talk about fractions, and also the least common multiple. Okay, so I want us to find the greatest common factor and least common multiple of 12 and 20. So the first step you do is you prime factorize those two numbers, and we're really familiar with that. So what I did is I prime factorized 12 and I got 2 squared times 3. And then I prime factorized 20 and I got 2 squared times 5. Okay? So once you have that done, there's a couple easy steps to find the greatest common factor and least common multiple. For the greatest common factor, you want to look at what do both of these prime factorizations have in common. Okay? The 3 and 5 aren't in common, but the 2 squared is in common. So the greatest common factor of 12 and 20 is 2 squared, which is 4. Okay? So you look and see what's in common. Okay, so then our LCM, we're talking about a multiple, so it's going to be a larger number. Okay, so a factor is a smaller number, a multiple is a larger number. So we're looking for the largest of each factor. Okay, so we know that 2 is a factor, we know that 3 is a factor, we know that 5 is a factor. What's the largest 2? It's 2 squared, and it's in both of them. And then also 3, and then 5. Okay, so to find this multiple, you multiply this out. 4 times 3 times 5 is equal to 60. So the least common multiple that both of those numbers go into is 60. 12 and 20 both go into 60. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video here in a second and try to find the greatest common factor and least common multiple of 30 and 24 on your own. Okay. Okay, so the first step we have to do is we have to prime factorize. Okay, so we look at 30 and we say, all right, we know that that is 6 times 5 and 2 times 3. So the prime factors of 30 are 2 times 3 times 5. Okay, 24. 12 times 2, 6 times 2, 2 times 3. Okay, so the prime factors of 24 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, which is 2 cubed times 3. So those are my prime factors here. Okay, to find my GCF, I say, what is in common? GCF. What is in common here? Well, we have a 2 here. We have 3 2's here, but there's only one 2 that's in common. So a 2 is in common. Is there a 3 in common? Yes. Is there a 5 in common? No. Okay, so 2 and 3 are in common. So then, therefore, my greatest common factor of 30 and 24 is 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay? Now, my LCM, I look at and I say, what is the largest of each factor? Okay, so I know I have 2 as a factor. Okay, what is the largest one? 2 cubed is the largest out of the 2's. So I pick 2 cubed. Okay, 3 is a factor, which is the largest. Well, they each have 1, so that's 3. And 5 is a factor. So there's only 1 over here, but it's still a factor. So we pick 5. So the LCM is 2 cubed times 3 times 5. So let's go ahead and do this math out. So that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. So this is 4. This is 6. So we have 4 times 6 times 5. Okay. 4 times 6 is 24 times 5. And 24 times 5, let's do a little math over here. is 120. Okay, so the least common multiple of 30 and 24, the least number that they will both go into is 120, and the greatest common factor that they will both go into, or that goes into both, is 6. Thank you.